Yep, we did the thing, all right? We went out Thursday night, we sat down, saw a couple of films, went to bed, went to work, took a nap, and now we're here because I am finally ready to talk to you about the movies of the week, my dude. Very nice. So, it's actually an interesting vibe because Thursdays are a little bit busier. Obviously, it's a work week, but it makes sense for those that not in the know. Sundays are usually my movie nights. I tend to save one day throughout the week, if I can, to go check out the cinemas and to go see what people are enjoying or to go experience something different. And different indeed, because ladies and gentlemen, today we have an impressive lineup of emotions, range, horror, hypothetically. And there's nothing more horrifying than watching your marriage fall apart. And that, even if you are one Doctor Strange himself, Benedict Cumberbatch and his wife, who is a nice crab chef, I appreciate that, are living life. You know, they're growing old, they're raising their kids, they're doing the thing. Everything is good, except for the fact that there's been tension in the marriage. Tension because one magician got orders wrong and essentially went viral. He goes viral for making or having one of his construction buildings fall apart, and that becomes viral. And then obviously, because it's the year of 2025 or the age of the internet, nobody wants to hire him as an architect anymore because of how absurd that whole situation was. Which, way, pretty apparent to this new day and age of how things is information and how much sharing all that information without even knowing all the details can really do something to someone's future. So hey, just things to think about in the know. But it is because of this guy's unfortunateness that he is no longer able to do the job that he has been brought on this earth to do, right? This guy spent his whole life studying for architecture, and now nobody will be able to give him the time of the day because it's just, what do you expect? He's the meme guy. He's the meme guy. As his one friend, played by Andy Samberg, tells him politely, "You're a loser." And it is that feeling of losing. Like, it is that feeling of not being able to, I imagine, not being able to provide, not being able to present yourself, not being able to feel the provider role that men have been biologically developed to represent, that sort of role that they want to provide, that they understand that the opposite female partner is expecting to some extent, as we are naturally wired to present ourselves in a way. And it's actually kind of interesting because years ago I presented a question, I forgot where or why or blah blah blah, but the idea of like marital roles and balancing that in this generation, because while Benedict Cumberbatch's career is not so great or not doing well, on the other hand, his wife's career, sorry I don't know her name, is booming like business, because business is booming and because people want to eat crabs for a low price. It's a thing. And yeah, so she ends up becoming more of the chef is gonna go out there, open restaurants, and then Benedict Cumberbatch ends up staying at home with the kids and taking care of the kids. And while there is a understanding and there is partnership, right? There is a teamwork, there is them making this thing happen, right? The worst things happen sometimes, and now the two of them are putting it together and working together to make it happen. Things are good. You should, hypothetically, everyone should be like thankful for how well things are going for the family. But relationships, man, relationships. seeing seeing them just kind of really have to like treat each other a certain way because certain things happen. If perhaps there was not a good method of communication between them. I'm pretty sure that's like the biggest part of all this. Their communication was really to a point where they almost kill each other, or yeah, to get what they want. The communication was not there. So it's honestly, it's something that you're gonna have to check out because it's so interesting how it does things the way it does it. It's fast, it moves quickly, it kind of presents it plot points, it introduces random like super weird characters that you just kind of like have to accept, and you sort of see the payoff later on, and this was a really fun movie. It made me feel bad because, you know, you just want them to be okay or you want them to make up, and then the director does a good job of showing how they have emotions, right? They are feeling each other's like pain that they're throwing at each other, but they just can't bring themselves to apologize or to lose. I think at the end of the day, they become so competitive in like trying to be something that instead of growing together, they start, you know, attacking, and it gets bad. It gets ugly real quick. But damn, was that a fun, interesting, good time? I'd say yes. It's something that you it's like a marriage. It's like a marriage. You sit down, you pay attention, you learn to understand the relationship, and by the time you get to the end of it, you're like, you know what? That was all right. We went out with a bang. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you should go check out The Roses. Too many home hitters on this one. The guy's a construction worker, the wife's a chef, and Rose is like the base is of my mother's maiden name. So this was fun. It really was. They're in California, so I thought there was gonna be a bit more of like, you know, you got two people with accents. I thought there was gonna be a bit more of like showcasing that. But for now, we have the beautiful children who grow up, leave the house, leave the two parents to start to like have more free time to bicker amongst themselves, and that is when the fun begins. Fun. Very, very, very intense. Almost an action movie to a certain point, if you can believe it or not. But yeah, definitely go check out The Roses. I think that was a really interesting time. I really want to see more, nice. Really want to see more, like, funner films, if that makes sense. I saw somewhere out there that comedy films are not being made as much, like just in the grand general consensus of CEOs and BS in the boardrooms and office meetings, is that they don't feel like there was a return in comedy. So they stopped trying to make comedic motion pictures to save money. But this is nice, man. It's different. It's like the bitterness is there, and you feel the pain from their like pureness, right? There is love there. It's just painful to watch them not put that before their pride, and you know, it's just a whirlwind of emotions. And if you enjoy learning how to understand, then yeah, go check that out. But you know what else is a whirlwind of emotions? I'm not sure where I was going with that one. Because things come in triplets, as we say. Nobody says that. Man, if I had a nickel. We're an interesting time in the cinema. I'll say this. Zendaya started it. So, The Threesome is the name of a movie where, you guessed it, one young gentleman is able to romance two ladies in the same night with the encouragement of one lifetime friend, or one friend. Let's call her friend homegirl. I don't know. Fuck. With encouragement of let's call her girl A, the main girl, the main love interest. They proceed to share the moment. 3 people, 1 moment. And, you know, things happen, life happens. I'm not about to tell people how to enjoy their free time and all that. It is the aftermath. And, right, I'll start with this. This is a really damn good, like romantic film. I don't know. Like, there's scenes in this between the two lead, I'll call it lead, or two main it gets confusing. The two main love interests, or the main girl love interest and the guy start off, actually. They start you off with super good chemistry between the two of them. And there's certain scenes between them, like in the earlier scenes, that you just see that kind of connection finally come into fruition. You get the guy starting off going like, yo man, I've liked this girl for a cool minute, and then like we've just never had things work around, whatever. There was this one time, but obviously whatever, blah blah blah. And to see the dude seemingly finally be at a place that he wants to be, or finding something that feels right. You don't really know if you're gonna end up being with a person. You just know that in the moment you're feeling comfortable sharing a connection with a human being. And it's how often one likes that connection or wants to be with that connection, or decides to put focus on that connection above other connections, that really creates the sort of relationship status. And that's beautiful in its own right. But remember, there is another, as Yoda once eloquently said, there is another. And because if things weren't confusing enough, the end result, the ultimate result of making love is creating another human being, a child. Wow, who would have known that? Kids, if you didn't know, get your pen and pencils. It's science time. So, if you are not being careful, if you have not taken precautions to say, listen, we're cool people, and this is gonna be a cool moment, but we do not have the mentality or the I don't know, like the financial backing, or the what's the word? The stable relationship? Yeah, I don't know. A stable foundation for us to, in good-hearted, pure nature, dedicate 10, 20 years to developing a new human mind. That's a big spoonful right there. Because babies are complicated things, man. It's not that hard to make them, hypothetically. But it can be hard. It is hard to understand what it all means, right? You're bringing a new life into this universe. So hypothetically, you want to make sure that this new life has a good landing pad to be able to start well in life and be a good human being. Is the ideal anyways. But when it's with someone that you don't know, a quote-unquote one-time thing, as is with girl B, because she becomes the first one. Yes, no. To bring it up, and it's just one of those things. It's one of those things where like it's pretty intense, man. They're committed to having carrying the child, and that that becomes a whole new ball game, because as dude does his best to navigate girl B's pregnancy, he's still wants or feels that emotion for girl A, right? And then when we get to girl A going like, yo man, I might be pregnant. We start off with girl A saying she's pregnant, which starts as a very like emotional, like strong moment with, you know, that relationship, and you're like, oh damn, this is gonna happen. This is gonna be cool. This is a good, cute little romance or whatever story. And because for the full part they've played it off like that, and then you get to the point where yeah, there is girl B, and she's ready to have the child. She's going to have the child, and that creates a whole new dynamic in this relationship that honestly kind of does like make you feel bad for the dude, in terms of like, yo man, he was happy out there. They were having a cute moment. They had a whole like a like a V-roll of them like enjoying each other's company and conversations, and then you just get to this point where it's like, oh man, now that it's just complicated. It's just so complicated. But this movie did a good job. It's weird. It's so weird. But it hit on every beat. Like I don't know where we're at in the year of 2025 when it comes to like presenting relationships and status, and like how the dating market is, how comfortable the dating market is with adapting to certain formations, like the Power Rangers or whatever. But again, I just want to bring this up, just very simply. Challengers had a vibe, okay? Maybe. Maybe. Challengers had a vibe. And that happened, and I felt a certain way about that, like not great about that. But it happened, and I just let it go, and it became its own thing, okay? This one, the three-way, had a lot of like emotion like behind it, because at the end of the day, these are humans, right? The characters have backgrounds, the characters have family members, the characters are now faced with the timeline of them giving birth to a new human being, even though they are very well aware that there is another woman out there going through the exact same motion. And I don't want to spoil too much, because the amount of loops that this film throws at you, or the curveballs that this film throws at you, are really out there. But again, they work and they make sense and they check out. You know, these scenarios happened IRL. Jerry Springer is a real thing back in the day. But yeah, just kind of seeing that. And I think the biggest credit you can give this film, I believe, is that you can start off feeling however you want to start off when you hear a movie called The Threesome, and you're hearing the plot synopsis and you're thinking, oh yeah, of course, the male, what's it called? The male, fantasy, the something male fantasy and average male fantasy or whatever. And you hear that, right? But to its biggest testament, you sit there and you're smiling. You're feeling like the chemistry between the two characters. There is chemistry in this fucking movie. Damn. And it's cute. It's freaking cute. And yeah, and if it were any other like romance film movie, you could even just be like, damn, I can't believe that happened. I can't, like, it would smack. But they really went above and beyond, and they said, nah, dog, we need a different plot point. We need another plot point in this film. And they made it work. Much like maybe their future relationship, one might hope. But damn, that was one hell of a ride. So if you're curious, real talk, if you're curious about this, I would say it's worth watching. Like, that's not even a joke. That's not even like me hyping things up. I just think that there was a really cute romance story that involved one dude gushing over girl A, which is the cute girl that, you know, you've longed for a while, or like you see her from a distance and you've known each other for years, but your worlds don't really interact. So why would you interrupt her universe with your universe? And you know, those things happen. But also, girl B happens, and when young lad is presented with, hey, I'm going to carry this child and I need someone to talk to my parents, you know, it's maybe wasn't the easiest thing to do, or maybe it's you know, accepting responsibility, right? Never an easy thing to do, but it is the responsibility that one carries that makes them a man, or whatever. The responsibility that the man carries makes him the man. I don't know. Man is defined by the responsibility he carries. There you go. So it was also cool to see him just be like a genuine guy, right? Because again, he wasn't the one that pushed for the moment. It was girl A that really pushed for the moment. But naturally, dude's gonna be like, well, sure, let's win in Rome. So him having to come out of the situation and have to hear news after news after news, some of it good news, some of it difficult news, some of it really bad news. And by the time we get to the really bad news, where all our emotions are invested, like right here, and you're like, damn, what do we do now? And yeah, it keeps you going for a ride. So I'm not sure if it was because they added an extra love interest that made this so intense or so spontaneous, but they did something over there, and they freaking cooked hard. So I'm gonna give this a bomb. I don't know. The romance is good. Just go watch it and tell me that the romance is crap, and then I'll stop talking about it. So hey, until then. Got one more in the house. One house indeed. There we go. Woo! Conjuring. Last rites. Conjuring, it's been a ride. I don't even know how long it's been. I just know that I was still in high school when I saw the first Conjuring, and I believe the first Conjuring did give me the spooks. It presented horror in a I would say in a different scenario. Like, it did different jump scares. I believe that was with James Wan, and James Wan was out there really experimenting the aspects of horror and how to work with the camera to kind of present these sporadic moments of like, oh, she's hiding, she's been standing there this whole time. Wah! So like, we know what we're getting into with this. Granted, I have not kept up with it, you know, like as a super fanatic fan of supernatural stuff. But for the most part, I understand the story of the guys. You got your husband, you got your wife. Husband, wife go out and explore spooky spiritual things, and maybe if you don't want to believe in the horror element, let's believe in the human emotional pain moment, right? Got a family that is going through a rough time, and they call in 2 pastors to go try to talk to the family and calm things down, aka relieve the house from any demons or demonic presence. Exorcisms, baby. So hey, in the universe, that sounds all good. Like in the perfect universe, that sounds all hunkin' And for the family themselves, I would say they do well for themselves, right? They have a little collection. They've kind of made a name for themselves. They've been professors. They've raised a child, and that's where we see things happen. Normally, we follow the mother. I think her name is Lorraine. The mother is more in tune with the spiritual elements, and she's able to perceive demons and see demonic presences in terms of going to a homestead and observing and understanding where these demons are, where they lie in our house and in our lives and stuff. So she does that, she's good at that. Her husband is out there driving the sick ass car and going like, yeah, babe, I got your back, don't worry. And that's the husband's job. It's all good, good on him. And yeah, so we've seen this a million times. This interesting turn up here is that now there is one young lady who is the daughter of the pastors, who is now receiving the hallucination. She's now seeing things that her mother is able to see as well. So the question becomes, why her? What's going on? Like, why is this activating now? Why is Sharingan powers activating at this point of her life? And what does the law mean, man? What does it mean? Answers. And that's where things kick off. You know, that's where you want to say things are getting interesting. The young lady is about to get married. She wants to get married. There's a dude that is there to ask for her hand in marriage, and everyone's excited except for her, because she is now freaking out about like supernatural happenings around her as she's supposedly getting prepared for this. It's just there. Horror has never really been my jam, just because like it's hard to get me like off-centered, I guess, off balance. And so like I'll sit there and I'll be ready, I'll be watching, but I'll be analyzing. And when horror happens, aka when the jump scares happen, it's nice to see, you know, people in the theater go like, oh. For me, since I'm always just there kind of analyzing the scene and picking up on objects that are moving or things that are not there anymore, things that have been misplaced, it's really, I do it to myself, right? It's really hard to find a film that genuinely fills me with fear. And unless it's that super creepy murderous documentary that we saw last time. That shit was crazy. But they tried, you know. There's some interesting moments, there's some funky horror scenes, but at the end of the day, you can tell that this is the last hurrah. And while that's that's good. I think everyone should be happy that these people were able to create such a long-running series that was interesting, that provided sort of insights, that kind of gave us like a perspective into the family homes and people that needed help out there. And I think they did something good. I believe they did something good, something nice with that. The question now is, where do we go from here? Because I can see them trying to go a spin-off route with the daughter, and then maybe you can start a new series with that. But I don't know, man. After watching this and just kind of being there and just having to chill through the film, I can't really say that it's for me. But at the end of the day, there is a spoopy season that is approaching us, and I welcome any sort of just moment of like, whoa, spoopy times. So hey, it did its job, Again, it was nice to see the people kind of like reactions to the scenes, seeing what actually got people, and I would say the people were into it. They were vibing with it. I don't think anybody really like screamed, like OP screamed, like it's happening. But again, that's not really what the Conjuring films have been, right? So if you knew about the Conjuring, if you feel comfortable, like even if you haven't seen the other ones, if you feel comfortable just going in to me like, hey, I just want to see some people get spooked, I just want to feel some emotions, then yeah, you can probably do something with that. Would I recommend it over Toxic Avenger? Probably not. So there's that. But don't let me stop you from checking it out. I saw a good amount of people in that movie theater, and I guess there is a fan base. There is a franchise for a reason, and that's why I say perhaps it is not the last we've seen of the family themselves. But if the two pastors are done for this timeline, then yeah, good on them. They both went. They've been there for a long time. It's like if they were Marvel superheroes, but supernatural this whole time. So I respect that. So hey, if you're a fan of the supernatural, if you like the Conjuring films, then go give it a shot. It's the worst that can happen. But get someone pregnant. But that's not funny. But if you didn't know, that's been the weekend. It's been the weekend movies on a Friday. This might have to be the new schedule. I'm still trying to balance a lot of things. I'm going to the gym right after this because that's the only way I can physically try to like balance this schedule. And that leaves tomorrow open for the little guy to be able to do some, Zenless Zone Zero. It's the Zenless Zone Zero channel, don't worry about it. Yeah, we got stuff like that. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we can get into that storyline and enjoy some cool narrative experiences. I know I've been ready to jump into that, and I look forward to sharing that with people and going forward with that. So let's see how it goes. The weekend was coming up soon. Let's see if we do some news of the week or if we have a interesting musical study session that we can look into doing, because I promised someone I would do something and it's been weeks, and I need to figure that one out. So hey, a lot of things in the future are in the bag, and we're just going, we're just moving. There's a lot of things on my end. I've been talking to a lot of personal matters in terms of like just balancing the books, trying to put yourself in a position where you can actually like be more manageable and liquid and stuff. And I'm believing that we're gonna be okay there. So hey, I'm very looking forward to this new section or this new season of how we're going to present this, because again, it is just a vibe, you know. This is for the universe in its grand infinite space. I just like this little sailboat or this little message in a bottle to be floating out in the sea. And that is what we do here, man. We have fun, we enjoy life, and we encourage you to enjoy your weekend as well. But hey, didn't know, it's your boy, EXP66 Stitch, wishing you buenos dias, buenas tardes, and a super good gym session. Just do it. But until then, hasta la próxima. Ciao. Mátane. Just can't stand the way.